Have you ever stopped and wondered why, in some corners of the world, people happily live to be 100, staying active and sprightly, while for the rest of us, hitting that milestone seems like a bit of a marvel? Well, today we're popping along on a little virtual trip to the Japanese island of Okinawa. This place is famous for being one of the planet's blue zones, a region where the concentration of centenarians simply goes through the roof. We're going to crack the code on 3 very simple, yet incredibly powerful rules that help the Okinawans stay hale and hearty well past their 50s, 60s, and even 70s. Trust me, we're not talking about exotic potions or grueling gym sessions. It's much simpler and much more profound. By the way, what do you reckon is more important for a long life? Your genes or your lifestyle? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, and we'll check back at the end of the video to see if your opinion has shifted at all. So, what exactly are these blue zones? This is the term academics and demographers use for 5 specific regions worldwide where people live significantly longer than the average. They include Sardinia in Italy, the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, Icaria in Greece, Loma Linda in California, and of course our main focus today, Okinawa, Japan. Decades of research have shown that the secret isn't so much about unique genetics, but far more about their lifestyle, their diet, and their strong social bonds. Okinawa truly stands out, even amongst this elite group. Not only do they have an abundance of folk who've sailed past the 100-year mark, but they also remain exceptionally well into old age, cleverly sidestepping common modern ailments like heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Their secret isn't a single magic bullet, but a holistic system, a harmonious blend of several key components, which we're going to delve into right now. And we shall kick things off with what ends up on our dinner plate. The first, and perhaps most famous, Okinawan rule is known as Hara Hachi Bu. This phrase, which they often recite before a meal, translates roughly as, eat until you are 80% full. Now imagine getting up from the dining table with a light, almost imperceptible feeling of wanting just a little bit more. Quite unfamiliar, isn't it? In our Western world, where we are often accustomed to eating until we are absolutely stuffed, this piece of wisdom feels profoundly counterintuitive. But this isn't a restrictive diet in the way we usually think of it. It's a whole philosophy concerning our approach to food. The Okinawans listen carefully to their body's subtle signals, stopping precisely when genuine physical hunger has been satisfied, but before that heavy, overly full sensation has set in. It is a subtle art of mindful eating that effectively protects them from the dangers of overeating. After all, it famously takes our brain about 20 minutes to truly register the signal of fullness sent from the stomach. By simply pausing a little earlier, they ensure their body receives exactly the energy it needs, without overwhelming the system with unnecessary excess. But why is this approach so vitally important? From a scientific standpoint, Hara Hachi Bu is simply a natural and easy way to practice calorie restriction. Countless studies, both on animals and humans, clearly demonstrate that moderately reducing the amount we eat slows down cellular aging, diminishes oxidative stress, and significantly lowers the risk of developing age-related illnesses. When we constantly overeat, we force our bodies to run flat out, working overtime just to process and absorb the excess food. This puts unnecessary strain on every single system we have, from our digestion right through to our cardiovascular health, essentially accelerating the wear and tear on the body. The Okinawans, however, by consuming roughly 20% fewer calories than most people in the West, effectively shift their bodies into a much more economical and efficient operating mode. It's rather like driving a car without flooring the accelerator pedal every time you hit a traffic light. The engine will certainly last longer, and the same principle applies directly to your own body. It's not just about how much they eat, mind you, it's the quality of the food that really matters. Let's have a peek at what a typical Okinawan resident is actually tucking into. You won't find huge slabs of red meat or rich, fatty dairy products on their plates. The cornerstone of their diet is firmly planted in the garden. They grow colourful vegetables right there on their own patches, and these make up the bulk of their meals. The absolute star of the show is the purple sweet potato, known locally as beni imo. It's absolutely packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and fibre. Truly wholesome stuff. They also rely heavily on soy products, especially things like tofu and miso. These are brilliant sources of plant-based protein and contain compounds that are excellent for keeping the heart healthy. You'll always find the rather unusual bitter melon or goya on their table. It's thought to be wonderful for helping to manage blood sugar levels. And then there are all sorts of different seaweeds, bursting with essential minerals. Crucially, their whole diet is low in calories, yet unbelievably dense in nutrients. It's simple, honest, and effective eating. In Okinawa, they truly believe that food is medicine. They don't see health and diet as separate things at all. They consider them one and the same. Every single ingredient on their plate has value and a specific purpose. Take turmeric, for instance. They use it widely as a spice, and it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. Then you have shiitake mushrooms, which are wonderful for supporting the immune system. And the green tea they sip throughout the day, that's absolutely packed with antioxidants, keeping their cells protected from damage. This deep, inherent understanding of how food affects the body is something that has been passed down through the generations. They instinctively choose what provides them with strength, energy, and protection against illness. This isn't about following the latest fad diet you see on the internet. It's centuries of proven wisdom. They literally eat a rainbow every single day, getting the full spectrum of necessary nutrients from whole, natural foods grown right there on their own land. Let's start by tackling a popular myth, shall we? The idea that to stay strong and healthy as we get on a bit, we must load up on meat. Well, the people of Okinawa, and we always look to them for longevity, don't we? Their experience shows us quite the opposite. Their diet is overwhelmingly plant-based. Meat, and they particularly like pork, is reserved for special occasions, a bit like a Sunday roast used to be perhaps, and only ever in very small amounts. It's certainly not a daily staple. They get their protein primarily from sources like tofu, beans, and occasionally a little bit of fish. And the results speak for themselves, don't they? They suffer far less from common age issues like osteoporosis and broken bones, especially compared to countries that rely heavily on large amounts of meat and dairy. Their muscles stay strong because they are constantly active. It's down to movement, not simply gorging on excess animal protein. This whole example is a clear indication that our bodies don't actually need those huge, hefty portions of meat to maintain strength and health. What really matters is a sensible, balanced diet, rich in plant-based foods. This approach doesn't overburden the system, ensuring that we get everything we need for a long, vigorous, and active life. Well, for those of us living right in the hustle and bustle of modern city life, how exactly do we put these principles into practice? You see, we can start small. Try using smaller plates. It's a simple little psychological trick, isn't it? That really helps you cut back on how much you eat. Eat slowly. Take the time to properly chew every single mouthful. Really savour the flavour, the aroma, and the texture of your food. Put the phone down and switch off the television during mealtimes. You want to be completely focused on the lovely process of eating. And here's the main thing. Learn to listen to your body. Before you even reach for that second helping, ask yourself honestly, am I truly still hungry, or am I just eating out of habit? Don't aim for 100% fullness. Try to stop at that magic 80% mark. Now, it might feel a bit strange at first, I grant you, but over time, you'll notice a huge difference. Your digestion will improve, you'll have much more energy, and you'll feel so much lighter all over. Right then, let's move on to the second pillar of Okinawan longevity. This one is just as crucial as a good diet, you see. It's a concept known as Ikigai. Now, there isn't a precise English equivalent, but the simplest way to put it is, what makes life worth living? Or perhaps, the reason you bother to get out of bed in the morning. And it's important to remember, This isn't necessarily about work or a career. Take the 100-year-old martial arts master, for instance. His Ikigai is passing on his knowledge to his students. Or the lady, 102, whose driving force is looking after her great-great-granddaughter. For others, it might simply be tending to the garden, a bit of fishing, or perhaps weaving traditional fabrics. Ikigai acts like a compass, guiding people through life, providing a strong sense of purpose and the feeling of being truly needed, even when they reach a ripe old age. In Okinawa, there's simply no concept of throwing in the towel or simply retiring to put your feet up. These wonderful chaps remain active and utterly involved in community life right up until the very end. So, why is this concept so utterly vital for our overall health and well-being? When you have your Ikigai, you have a compelling reason to get up in the morning. It acts as a powerful antidote against the apathy, depression, and general sense of loneliness that can so often creep into retired life. Research consistently shows that those who maintain a clear sense of purpose live longer, healthier lives, and are far less prone to serious ailments like heart disease and strokes. This feeling of being useful and having genuine meaning activates the pleasure centers in our brain. It cuts down on stress hormones like cortisol and fundamentally strengthens our immune system. The trouble is, when people retire and lose their primary social role, they often lose their sense of direction too. And that absence of purpose can unfortunately be the trigger for a very sharp decline in health. The Okinawans, however, thanks to their Ikigai, never stop feeling needed. They remain active and essential members of their communities right to the very end. The examples of Ikigai we find in Okinawa are truly striking in their simplicity and depth. Take, for example, one 97-year-old fisherman. He told researchers his Ikigai was simply getting out on the water every morning and bringing home fish for his family. He had a strong sense of responsibility and a quiet joy, knowing he could provide fresh, good food for those closest to him. Then there was a woman, a centenarian, who devoted her life to the traditional art of bashafu weaving. She wasn't just making beautiful cloth, she was preserving her people's cultural heritage, ensuring that the younger generations learned this valuable craft. Her hands were constantly busy, and her mind remained wonderfully sharp and clear. These pursuits certainly didn't bring in a great deal of money, but they provided something far more precious, a profound sense that their life held real value. They weren't just sitting around waiting for the end. They were actively living a rich, purposeful life, day in and day out. How do we actually find our Ikigai, that sense of purpose, especially once we've hit the big 5-0 and feel like the main career achievements are already in the rearview mirror? This isn't the time to wind things down and put your feet up. It's the perfect moment for a brand new chapter. Just ask yourself a few straightforward questions. What do I truly enjoy doing? What skills do I genuinely excel at? How can the experience and knowledge I've gathered be useful to others? And critically, what activities genuinely make me feel alive and full of beans? Your Ikigai might be hidden in a forgotten hobby, perhaps some voluntary work, or just pitching in to help the children and grandchildren. Maybe it's learning a new skill, getting creative, or simply passing on the wisdom you've accumulated over the years. Don't feel the need to chase after something enormous or life-changing. Often, Ikigai is found in those small, everyday routines, the things that bring you personal joy and bring a little benefit to those around you. The main thing is having that genuine reason, that spark, to happily jump out of bed every single morning. It's crucial to grasp that your Ikigai isn't a fixed goal, something you achieve and then forget about. It constantly changes and evolves as you go through life. When you were younger, perhaps your Ikigai was focused on your career and bringing up the children. But once you hit your 50s or 60s, it might shift entirely. Maybe to mentoring others, perhaps serious gardening, or finally getting around to those trips you always dreamed of. That flexibility, that ability to keep finding new purpose, is truly the secret to a long and happy life. The long livers in Okinawa are famous for this. They constantly pick up new skills, learn new things, and make sure they spend time talking to the younger generations. They don't dwell on the good old days. Instead, they look forward to the future, with genuine curiosity. This open approach keeps their minds sharp, helps ward off things like memory loss, and ensures their daily lives are filled with fresh, vibrant experiences and genuine joy. So ask yourself, what is one thing you'd really love to learn right now? Chances are, your next Ikigai is waiting for you right there. Finally, we come to the third cornerstone of Okinawan longevity. This is something that, in our rather individualistic modern world, we often seem to overlook: the power of strong social connection. The Okinawans have a very special word for this, which is Moai. Originally, Moai described a local system of financial mutual support within the community, but over time it has evolved to encompass something far more profound. A Moai is essentially a tight-knit circle, usually 5 to 10 friends, who commit to supporting each other throughout their entire lives. They meet up regularly to simply catch up, share the latest news, offer help when things get tough, or perhaps just to have a cup of tea together. Crucially, these bonds are often forged in childhood and remain completely unbreakable for life. Think of it as your own personal, dependable safety net, a reliable social structure that provides emotional, financial, and psychological reassurance whatever life happens to throw at you. Having this sort of support network offers truly enormous benefits, both for our minds and our bodies. That crucial sense of belonging, knowing you're part of a genuine group, and realizing you always have someone to rely on, it acts as a tremendous shield against stress. Modern research is quite stark. Loneliness, they say, is as detrimental to your overall health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It significantly increases the risk of depression, serious heart troubles, and even conditions like dementia. Members of these Moai groups, conversely, feel protected, valued, and loved. If one person falls ill, the others immediately pitch in, bringing meals, helping with the shopping, or doing the household chores. Should anyone face financial difficulties, the Moai can collectively raise funds to help them through the rough patch. But perhaps the most vital element of all is the daily contact, the laughter, the shared stories, and the general chat. This steady social stimulation keeps the mind beautifully sharp and provides positive, warming emotions that genuinely contribute to a longer life. Moai isn't just a simple social club or a group with shared interests. It's a second family, truly, a commitment they make to each other for life. They celebrate all the big moments together, the weddings and the births, and they share the grief at the funerals. They know everything about everyone, warts and all, and accept each other exactly as they are. This deep, unconditional support creates a unique environment where growing older isn't something you have to be afraid of. You simply know you'll never be left on your own. On top of the emotional support, the Moai also acts as a kind of well-being accountability group. If one of the members starts straying, perhaps picking up smoking again, or drinking a little too much, the others will gently nudge them back onto the right path. They actively support healthy habits in one another, and that is a massive factor in their overall longevity. It is a collective responsibility for the health and happiness of every single person involved. How do we go about creating our own personal Moai? Obviously, we can't simply replicate those ancient customs exactly, but we can certainly adopt the core idea, the vital importance of deep, long-term connections. Look around you. Do you have 3 to 5 people you could genuinely call at 3 o'clock in the morning with any sort of problem? If you do, make an effort. Invest your time and energy in those relationships. And crucially, set up regular meetups. Don't let your relationships live solely on text messages, online chats. Maybe it's a weekly coffee morning, pursuing a shared hobby, or just a simple stroll through the park. What matters most is consistency and a genuine, heartfelt interest in each other's lives. Essentially, you're building your own reliable support network, your chosen second family. And even if you've already passed that 50-year mark, remember this: it truly is never too late to cultivate those strong, enduring bonds that will sustain and support you for all the years ahead. Speaking of getting out and about, a crucial element of the Okinawan lifestyle is how naturally active they are. You won't find them pumping iron in some sterile gym. No, their very way of life is constant movement. They walk everywhere. They spend hours tending their gardens and allotments, and they're constantly moving on and off the floor multiple times a day. A fantastic, natural workout for the legs and the core. They don't view it as exercise. They simply view it as living an active, useful life. Take gardening, for instance. It's the perfect comprehensive movement. Bending, stretching, squatting, using your arms, and all of it out in the fresh air, soaking up the sunshine. This low-intensity, continuous activity spread throughout the day is ultimately far more beneficial for long-term health than hitting the gym hard for 1 hour, only to spend the next 8 hours glued to the sofa. Sunlight certainly plays a major part in all this. Spending so much time outdoors, the Okinawans naturally get plenty of vitamin D. This sunshine vitamin is absolutely vital for healthy bones, a strong immune system, and even keeping our spirits up. While we folk in the northern latitudes often struggle with a deficiency, especially as we get older, the Okinawans get an abundance of it the natural way. Now, of course, we need to be sensible and avoid the scorching midday sun. But a daily dose of gentle morning or evening light is yet another simple and completely free secret to their remarkable good health. It's a lovely reminder that we are intrinsically part of nature, and that vital connection directly impacts how well we feel. But we mustn't overlook the deeply spiritual side of life in Okinawa. While it may not be a formal religion as we understand it, the majority of residents carry a profound sense of gratitude and a tangible connection to their ancestors. Many homes feature small, dedicated altars where they respectfully honour the memory of loved ones who have passed on. These daily rituals provide them with a wonderful sense of grounding, link the generations together, and genuinely help them navigate life's inevitable difficulties. They are taught from an early age to cherish the simple things: a good, hearty meal, the companionship of friends, and the sheer beauty of the natural world around them. This philosophy of calm acceptance, this peaceful way of living without needless fuss and chronic stress, is clearly a major component of their remarkable longevity. Chronic stress, as we all know, is one of the biggest silent killers in the modern world, and the Okinawans truly seem to have cracked the code on living in harmony with themselves and their surroundings. Right then, let's tie all of this up. The Okinawan secret isn't just one factor, but a perfect synergy of several vital things. A sensible plant-rich diet, known as Hara Hachi Bu, or stopping when you're 80% full, provides the body with the fuel it needs and gently guards against illness. Second, having a clear purpose in life, their Ikigai, keeps the mind active, sharp, and gives you a powerful reason to get up in the morning. And third, a strong, supportive community, their Moai, nurtures the soul, giving a true sense of belonging and security. Remove just one of these pillars and the entire structure risks collapsing. You simply can't expect the same results if you only adopt the diet while spending your days alone in front of the telly. Their longevity is a completely holistic way of life, where every single aspect reinforces and enhances the others. That, my friends, is the key takeaway we can truly glean from their wonderful experience. It's important to note that even in Okinawa itself, the younger generation is adopting the Western lifestyle, the fast food, the sedentary office jobs, and they are starting to lose their longevity advantage. Obesity and diabetes are becoming much more common among them. This is the most compelling proof that their secret isn't locked up in their genes. It boils down entirely to their way of life. The Okinawan principles aren't some kind of exotic magic, reserved only for the privileged few. They are simply universal steps towards a healthy and happy existence. Steps that, sadly, many of us have lost sight of while chasing modern comfort and success. But the good news is, it's truly never too late to start returning to these simple, age-old truths. Even making small adjustments, perhaps to your diet, finding a renewed sense of purpose, and strengthening those connections with loved ones can yield truly remarkable results. And so, piece by piece, we've explored the secrets behind the long and healthy lives of the Okinawan people. The most fascinating twist, really, is that there isn't actually a secret at all. There's no magic pill or miraculous elixir we can simply drink. Instead, It boils down to simple yet profound wisdom. Nourish your body with good, wholesome food, but never eat until you're stuffed. Nourish your mind with purpose and meaning, so you always have something valuable to strive for. And nourish your soul with warm, human connection, because walking this path alone is infinitely harder. These 3 cornerstones, Hara Hachi Bu, Ikigai, and Moai, create an incredibly strong foundation for health. This allows them not just to reach the age of 100, but to live those years actively, happily, and with a wonderfully clear mind. Thank you so much for staying with us and watching this video right to the very end. If you found any of this new or useful, please do hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on other health secrets from around the globe. Now let's go back to our main question. Out of these 3 vital rules, moderate eating, having a strong purpose, or maintaining deep friendships, which one do you think would have the greatest positive impact on your own life right now? Please do share your thoughts in the comments below. I truly look forward to reading them.